In Florida for a while, you probably noticed that it's not the same anymore. The secret is out, okay? People are moving here in droves. They've been moving here in droves, and the state of Florida offers a lot. It offers a lot, but it does come with some downfalls with regards to real estate. And there's some really, really exciting stuff that the state offers as well. I've been here my entire life, and when I grew up here, way different. But now you run into certain dilemmas like traffic, right? Traffic in most of the major cities is pretty bad now, especially when you get into the inner parts of the cities. And most people that live in Florida that are within an hour drive of the major cities, they're going to live in the suburban areas, which is also congesting traffic. The infrastructure was probably underplanned because getting into some of these major cities is very difficult when there's heavy traffic. But part of the reason that happened is because really people didn't start to move to Florida until air conditioning came out. You know, if you tried to live here without air conditioning, either you'd get roasted or you would get eaten alive by bugs. You know, just the way it is. So people started moving here when air conditioning came out, and but lately we've seen a big movement to Florida that's really changing the whole dynamics of the state. With regards to real estate, what we've seen is people leave these heavy states, heavy red states during or heavy blue states during the COVID problems. They were flocking to Florida, and during that time, prices soared. Prices went way up in the state, and they've come down some. You know, in most places around the state, you can see that the peaks to where they are now, we're down 20-25%. But overall, it's still very expensive because the state in general here, the jobs in general don't offer high pay. So you're going to get to where you get household incomes are, you know, $70,000 to $90,000 per year, but the cost to actually afford a house is going to be somewhere between, you know, 100 or 90 to 120,000 per year. So there's still an affordability issue for local buyers, and a lot of the state is propped up by people moving here. So it is a great thing, you know, but the state itself is an awesome place to live, and people figured it out. You know, they finally figured it out. We have three really good professional football teams. They don't win a whole lot, but they're here. You know, you got three professional football teams in the state. You have two professional basketball teams, and of course, you know, you got your fishing, hunting, water sports, good weather most of the time. I mean, that's just the way it is here. So it's a great place to live, and people figured it out. The problems that we're having in the state is, you know, you have issues with prices on homes. You have issues with insurance because of hurricanes. There's also big scams that went on over the past several years with roofs. And before that, it was sinkhole scams. And what happens is these insurance companies get spooked, and they bail out, and you're left with only a few options to pick from, and the prices go up. And then when the new ones come back in, of course, the prices never go back down. So insurance is a problem here. It's an expensive thing to have on your home or on your car. It's a pricey adventure here with regards to insurance. And the real estate market, they just announced, Governor DeSantis just announced that they are, in fact, going to be processing this elimination of property taxes. They're putting a new proposal together. It looks like it's going to be on the ballot. It looks like the average homeowner that lives here is going to get a $250,000 homestead write-off immediately, probably next year. And then within a year from then, it's going to go up to $500,000. That looks like what is probably going to be proposed, which will give a nice burden of relief to homestead properties here in Florida. Another issue with that is that if you're not homesteaded here, this could be a secondary home, you're not going to get any relief from the tax burden. Okay, that is going to be an ongoing issue. Is that people who live here as secondary homes, or they have rental homes or investment properties, they're not going to get much relief from that. So those are high taxes, high insurance bills are causing issues here. And Florida used to be a very laid back state. It used to really be. You could live with, like I said, you could live within an hour of any suburb, of any downtown district area, in the suburbs or in the country, really, in certain areas, and you could easily drive. You could live out in the woods, live on 30, 40, 50 acres, get in your vehicle, drive into the downtown area, work all day, drive an hour home, and that was a good life to live. That does not exist really anymore. If you used to live an hour outside the city, the way they've built the new roads and the way the traffic's going, it's very difficult to get to your job within an hour. So people are having to travel hour and 15, hour and a half to get to work, and that's problematic. And then the thing is, it gets very, very congested with people when you get into areas like Orlando, especially down in Miami. That place is if you go down there and you're going anywhere, you're going to be in some traffic for sure, especially during rush hour times. So, the people just caught on to the place, and a lot of people move here. It's still a great place to live. It really is. And another thing with Florida is that real estate is very volatile here. So you can predict it very well. If the market is down in Florida, it's down usually a lot. Even now with this pullback we had, it's down 20, 25% just based on list price, right? So if you went in and you make an offer and you get another 5% discount, you could easily get a home 25% under its potential high value, or 30% under its high value. And that is great upside. And you don't get that in a lot of states. You don't get the opportunity to come in and really know that the market's down and where it's at, and have that upside potential. So there's a lot of volatility, but there's a lot of opportunity here when you're buying real estate. And that's very, very clear here. When the market's down, it's very clear. When it's up, it's very clear. During the COVID, just hypothetically, if you bought a house in 2018 or 2019 under normal market conditions, and you own that home for the next 5 or 6 years, and you say you sold it in 2023, you would have capitalized on a massive equity increase in Florida because of the volatility. You'd have bought here, sold your house, you'd have made at least 40% off of that investment, at least. But in a lot of cases, it's 50, 60% off of your investment. So it's a very good place if you catch the market at the right time. If you can time the market correctly, and you can get in when it's a good time, then you can expect volatility when things start to go back up. And we're starting to see it baseline right now. We're down at 20%, just say 20% overall around the whole state. We're starting to see it baseline, which means that we're really starting to see buyers and sellers, which is listings and pending transactions, right? They're starting to balance out across the state, which usually indicates that we're going to be in a period of consolidation, which means that you will see prices stay stagnant probably for the next year or so, while buyers start to come back into the market and they start to buy up all the excess inventory that did not sell over the course of the past couple of years. That is starting to play out in live time right now. And as that plays out, you can still have opportunity to come in and go, okay, we're at the bottom of the market. We have 20% or more upside. If I buy a house on the retail market right now, I have a price target I can look at. I know where the price is going to go, and you can plan accordingly for that. If you want to buy it, hold it for 5 years and sell it, you're probably going to make a lot of money here. So even though there's these circumstances with Florida, with the housing market, if you can time it right and you can afford it, there's a lot of potential for to make a lot of money off of real estate here. On the retail market, where you don't get that kind of potential in other states. Here, other states, if you're considering a home purchase and you want to really make money off of it, you have to create the money you're going to make via an offer. So usually you have to find it off market, get a lowball offer in with a seller that's motivated. Whereas here, if you time the market correctly, you can buy a house when it's downturning and then sell it when it's upturning. It's very easy to spot. So that is one of the greatest things about Florida. It's very volatile, and you can experience a lot of upside. On the flip side of that, if you buy at the wrong time, you're going to be holding through a nasty pullback. A lot of people that bought homes in 2008 or 2007, 2006, they experienced that kind of pullback, all right, where the housing market went down 50% during those years, and then went back up. You know, they didn't really, the market here didn't get back to 2007 levels until almost 2016, 2017, which is a decade later, you know. So if you bought a home at the wrong time, you're going to hold it for a decade. So it's easy to spot. A lot of people just buy because they have to. They overlook the market conditions. But if you time it right, which is easy to do on the retail market, you can buy at the low and sell at the high. Very easy to see. So that's one thing that's great about Florida. And of course, you know, if you are a Republican, this is the place to be. It really is. If you vote that way, if that's what you support, then you're coming to the right place for sure. The state offers a heavy dose of Republican voters and Republican ideology. So a lot of people are coming here just simply for that reason as well. But anyways, the point is I like to make is that there's a lot of negativity and there is a lot of expenses involved in real estate if you don't watch the direction of the market, and you don't pay attention to how much your insurance is going to cost, how much your taxes are going to be. But if you can time it right, if you can make sure that you're buying at the bottom of a market, you can make a lot of money on the upside in Florida. It's a great place to do it. And when you compile that on with the fact that we have sunny weather, it gets cold here but not that cold, you have beaches, you have fishing, you have hunting, you have sports, you have anything you can really think of here with regards to water sports available. The only thing Florida doesn't have is snow skiing, right? And even in some places they manifest that during the wintertime. They fake it. But if you're looking for a great place to live with about any hobby you can imagine, golf, kayaking, whatever it is, this is the place to be. And a lot of people know that. And a lot of people, I believe, are going to be moving here into the future. It's going to be a place that people always come to. It's just a matter of balancing out your budget, making sure you buy at the right time, and pulling the trigger when it's proper, when the time is right. If you do that, you'll be safe. If you don't, and you buy out of necessity or out of want, and you're not paying attention to the market, then you can get caught in a downturn, and it's not a pretty thing. So thanks again for watching, guys. If you don't mind, if I've earned it, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. And I want to mention that a lot of channels out here, they're giving advice, but they don't work in real estate. We work in real estate here. I know we're ins and outs. We get insight from the source every day. We're in the market every day. We're buying and selling homes every single day. We're doing something to bring information with regards to the real estate market to you. And it's live. It's always live. And that's the best information to get, because we can see these transactions coming before everybody else, before it hits Zillow, before it hits any of the algorithms, before it hits any of the major websites. We can see what's going on live and live time because we're physically working it at all times. Anyways, take care. And if you guys ever need anything, please reach out.